Asia Pacific Conference.
The synergy between our two nations and the vibrancy of it is apparent and more than ever before. And this is largely due to the energy and enthusiasm of our leaders who are meeting today for the 8th time in just the past couple of years. Germany, Italy, Indonesia, Japan, and of course, the synergy between our two nations and the vibrancy of it is apparent and more than ever before. And this is largely due to the energy and enthusiasm of our leaders who are meeting today for the 8th time in just the past couple of years. Germany, Italy, Indonesia, Japan, and of course India. G7, G20, and the India-Germany government consultations.
I think, Shivani, we all sense in the room at this moment what a special moment this is. A special moment during the 3rd Asia-Pacific Conference that is taking place in India by now. And at the same time, we have the intergovernmental consultations. And what we also sense this morning is how important it is to come together, to speak together, and also to exchange the view on sensitivities together.
Yes, it is essential. And I think just to be together in this room, people from both countries listening to each other, being sensitive to what is being said and carrying through in what is being done and what can be done is the magic of the moment. And now I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the Chancellor. Wir begrüßen Sie sehr herzlich, Herr Bundeskanzler Scholz. Wir freuen uns sehr, dass Sie nach Neu-Delhi gekommen sind. Danke. May I please request the Honorable Chancellor Scholz to come and share a few words with us, and we will leave this podium for you, Honorable Chancellor, to be able to address the audience at APK 2024.
Prime Minister Modi, Ministers, Mr. Bush, distinguished friends and guests of the Asia-Pacific Conference of German Business. A few days ago, economists Darren Acemoglu, Simon Johnson and James Robinson were awarded the so-called Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences. They received this prestigious accolade for their work on how democracies and democratic institutions spurs prosperity and economic growth. I think it's important that they all worked on this and wrote a lot of letters and text on this question. And Simon Johnson added in a recent interview that true, genuine, inclusive democracy matters very clearly when it comes to economic success. The organizers of this year's Asia-Pacific Conference of German Business probably didn't foresee the decisions by the Royal Swedish Academy. But by inviting us to India, you had the right instinct. Today, we are meeting in the world's biggest democracy, the fastest growing major economy in the world with the most rapidly expanding renewable energy sector of any major economy. A country at the heart of the world's most dynamic region, the Asia-Pacific. In a nutshell, the Asia-Pacific Conference has come to the right place at the right time. Prime Minister Modi, thank you very much for your kind hospitality, and thanks also to our co-hosts Robert Habeck and Roland Busch, and of course to you, Minister Goyal, for organizing this conference. I mentioned this year's Nobel laureates because the message couldn't be more topical. Not only do many democracies face pressure from within, from populists and extremists who peddle simplistic solutions to highly complex problems. What also worries me is an erosion of international institutions and the rules that we have created through them. As the three Nobel Prize laureates tell us, this is not just a political problem, but also an economic one. Because a world where reliable institutions and common rules erode is a more unstable world, a less prosperous world, a poorer world. The world of the 21st century is something where progress is a question we have to work for. But in a multipolar world, there is no global policeman, no single watchdog monitoring our common rules and institutions. Each and every one of us is called upon to defend and uphold them. If Russia was to succeed with its illegal, brutal war against Ukraine, there would be repercussions far beyond Europe's borders. Such an outcome would endanger global security and prosperity as a whole. The Middle East remains another constant source of tension and a stark reminder of the human cost of division and the world's inability to reach political solutions. The Korean Peninsula, the South and East China Sea all remain flashpoints of potential conflicts, even though we all hope that these conflicts can be contained. So my first message to all of you today is this: let us do whatever we can to bring about political solutions to these conflicts, solutions that are based on international law and the principles of the UN Charter. This is not only an ethical and political obligation. It is also imperative if we want to safeguard prosperity and trade and economic cooperation. We need to match words with deeds. The visit of a German frigate to India, as well as to Japan, Korea and Southeast Asian countries, underlines our commitment to open seas and international law. At our intergovernmental consultations with India, we also want to deepen our cooperation on defense and agree to bring our militaries closer together. Our overall message is clear: we need more cooperation, not less. Globalization has been and remains a tremendous success story for all of our nations. Around 1 billion people in developing and middle-income countries alone have joined the middle class thanks to global value chains, cross-border investments and economic cooperation. Many countries in the Asia-Pacific region are perfect examples here. This is why I keep telling the proponents of deglobalization and decoupling, or whatever the protectionists' policies are being called these days, let's be careful. In the short term, those concepts may sound tempting, but ultimately they lead to weaker growth, higher prices, lower global prosperity, and less competition, which in turn means less innovation. We need to take a different approach, one that I would like to call being open without being naive. Yes, we must avoid one-sided dependencies, particularly in areas of strategic important critical raw materials and certain technologies, for instance. But for us, de-risking doesn't mean less trade or less openness. For us, de-risking means diversification. And this diversification is happening. Look at how German-Indian business relations have developed in recent years. Relations that benefit both sides. Every week an aircraft from the Airbus A320 family is being delivered from my hometown, Hamburg, to India's booming airlines. And for Germany's Lufthansa, India has become the most important growth market in Asia. 50% of passenger wagons of Indian railways are based on a design by Linke Hofmann Busch, designed in Germany, made in India. Most of the train brakes are made by Knorr-Bremse, all of them produced in India. German cars dominate the Indian premium market and ramp up local manufacturing, creating thousands of jobs. In return, the modern software in a Mercedes-Benz vehicle comes from Bengaluru. And you, Mr. Bush, recently wrote in an article that Siemens is seeking to take industrial AI to the next level with the help of talent based here in India. Opportunities abound for both sides. And I could tell similar stories of German companies working in Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, South Korea, Japan, or other countries in the region. We want to drive this positive development. Free trade is at its core. However, free trade doesn't mean trade without rules or institutions. On the contrary, a crucial institution when it comes to increasing global prosperity is the World Trade Organization. All of us are better off when its principles are respected again and we don't lash out on each other with tariffs. I'm personally committed to achieving this. On the one hand, this means restoring the legal system for setting trade disputes. And on the other hand, China, now an industrial giant, should give up the special treatment it has received as a developing country. Together, these steps can lead us to finally lifting the blockade at the WTO, a blockade which is a danger to free and fair trade. Countries of your region understand that. The comprehensive and progressive agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership is an impressive commitment to free and fair trade. This agreement has spurred the European Union's own free trade ambitions with regard to the Indo-Pacific. Our existing agreements with Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, Singapore and New Zealand are a testimony to this. But we need to be more ambitious. We very much welcome the European Commission's finally resuming free trade negotiations with the Philippines and Thailand, and it is working towards resuming talks with Malaysia. We want to see the ongoing negotiations between the EU and Indonesia finalized and the negotiations between the EU and Australia resumed as soon as possible. And of course, we want a free trade agreement between the EU and India. My government is pushing for swift progress and rapid conclusions, and I'm sure that if we work on together on this, Prime Minister, this could happen in months rather than years. There is one last aspect that I would like to mention, as it underlines what I mean by being open without being naive. Only a few days ago, the German government agreed on a strategy to attract skilled Indian employees to Germany. Even today, Indians are the largest group of foreign students at our universities. Last year alone, the number of Indians working in Germany grew by 23,000. Their talent is a welcome addition to our labor market. And let me add, we don't just welcome talent from India to work in Germany, but from all of your countries. To make this happen, we passed one of the world's most progressive laws for labor immigration. We are digitizing our visa process, speeding up procedures and making them more user-friendly. At the same time, we are reducing irregular migration and facilitating returns of those who have no right to be in our country. The message is that Germany is open for skilled workers, but that we can decide who comes. This is important because only then will our citizens continue to accept our openness. This brings me back to the beginning of my remarks on the three winners of the Nobel Prize. One of the key lessons of their work is that open societies are more likely to prosper. We need to maintain the spirit of openness in our countries and in today's world. So let us be the ones that spread it. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz. Vielen Dank, Herr Bundeskanzler. We need more cooperation, not less, and now we are all excited when we will hear more about a potential free trade agreement. And I'm sure we will spend some time today speaking about this issue, and also tomorrow. India is on a geopolitical center stage. Its strategic value for the West is increasing. It is now my great honor to invite the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, on stage. We are delighted and grateful to have you here. Mananiya Pradhan Mantri, Shri Narendra Modi, Namaskar.
Excellency, Chancellor Scholz, Vice Chancellor Dr. Robert Habeck, भारत सरकार के मंत्रीगण, एशिया पैसिफिक कमिटी ऑफ जर्मन बिजनेस के चेयरमैन डॉक्टर बुश, भारत, जर्मनी और इंडो पैसिफिक देशों के इंडस्ट्री लीडर्स, देवी और सज्जनों, नमस्कार, गुटन टाग। साथियों, आज का दिन बहुत विशेष है। मेरे मित्र चांसलर शोल्ज चौथी बार भारत आए हैं। पहले मेयर के रूप में और 3 बार चांसलर बनने के बाद उनका यहां आना भारत जर्मनी संबंधों पर उनके फोकस को दिखाता है। 12 साल के बाद भारत में एशिया पैसिफिक कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑफ जर्मन बिजनेस का आयोजन हो रहा है। एक तरफ यहां सीईओ की फोरम की बैठक हो रही है, दूसरी तरफ हमारी नौसेना साथ में अभ्यास कर रही है। गोवा में जर्मन नेवल शिप्स पोर्ट कॉल पर है और अब से थोड़ी ही देर में भारत और जर्मनी के बीच 7वें इंटर गवर्नमेंटल कंसल्टेशन का भी आयोजन होना है। यानी हर कदम, हर मोर्चे पर भारत और जर्मनी की दोस्ती गहरी हो रही है। साथियों, ये साल भारत जर्मनी स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनरशिप का 25वां वर्ष है। अब आने वाले 25 वर्ष इस पार्टनरशिप को नई बुलंदी देने वाले हैं। हमने आने वाले 25 वर्षों में विकसित भारत का एक रोडमैप बनाया है। मुझे खुशी है कि ऐसे महत्वपूर्ण समय में जर्मन कैबिनेट ने फोकस ऑन इंडिया डॉक्यूमेंट रिलीज किया है। विश्व की 2 सशक्त डेमोक्रेसीज, विश्व की 2 लीडिंग इकोनॉमीज साथ मिलकर कैसे फोर्स फॉर ग्लोबल गुड बन सकती हैं, फोकस ऑन इंडिया डॉक्यूमेंट में उसका ब्लूप्रिंट है। इसमें स्ट्रैटेजिक पार्टनरशिप को होलिस्टिक तरीके से आगे बढ़ाने की अप्रोच और कमिटमेंट साफ दिखता है। खास तौर पर भारत की स्किल्ड मैन पावर पर जर्मनी ने जो भरोसा जताया है वो अद्भुत है। जर्मनी ने स्किल्ड भारतीयों के लिए हर वर्ष मिलने वाले वीजा की संख्या 20,000 से बढ़ाकर 90,000 करने का फैसला किया है। मुझे विश्वास है कि इससे जर्मनी की ग्रोथ को नई गति मिलेगी। साथियों, हमारी आपसी व्यापार $30 बिलियन से अधिक के स्तर पर पहुंच चुका है। आज एक तरफ सैकड़ों जर्मन कंपनियां भारत में हैं, तो वहीं भारतीय कंपनियां भी तेजी से जर्मनी में अपनी प्रेजेंस बढ़ा रही हैं। आज भारत डाइवर्सिफिकेशन और डी रिस्किंग का सबसे बड़ा केंद्र बनता जा रहा है। भारत ग्लोबल ट्रेड और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का भी हब बन रहा है। ऐसे में आपके लिए मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड का ये सबसे उपयुक्त समय है। साथियों, ईयू और एशिया पैसिफिक क्षेत्र के बीच संबंध मजबूत करने में एशिया पैसिफिक कॉन्फ्रेंस का महत्वपूर्ण रोल रहा है। लेकिन मैं इस मंच को सिर्फ ट्रेड और इन्वेस्टमेंट के सीमित दायरे में ही नहीं देखता हूं। मैं इसे इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र और विश्व के बेहतर भविष्य की साझेदारी के रूप में देखता हूं। दुनिया को स्टेबिलिटी और सस्टेनेबिलिटी की जरूरत है, ट्रस्ट और ट्रांसपेरेंसी की जरूरत है। चाहे सोसाइटी हो या फिर सप्लाई चेन, हर मोर्चे पर इन वैल्यूज को बल देने की जरूरत है। इनके बिना कोई भी देश, कोई भी रीजन अपने बेहतर फ्यूचर की कल्पना नहीं कर सकता। इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन तो दुनिया के फ्यूचर के लिए बहुत जरूरी है। ग्लोबल ग्रोथ हो, पॉपुलेशन हो, स्किल्स हो, इस रीजन का कंट्रीब्यूशन और पोटेंशियल दोनों बहुत व्यापक है। इसलिए इस कॉन्फ्रेंस का महत्व और भी बढ़ जाता है। फ्रेंड्स, भारत की जनता एक स्टेबल पॉलिटी और प्रिडिक्टेबल पॉलिसी इकोसिस्टम को बहुत महत्व देती है। यही वजह है कि 60 साल बाद एक सरकार को लगातार थर्ड टर्म मिला है। भारत की जनता का ये ट्रस्ट बीते एक दशक में रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म, ट्रांसफॉर्म वाली गवर्नेंस के कारण मजबूत हुआ है। जब देश का सामान्य नागरिक ये सोच रहा है, तब आप जैसे बिजनेस के लिए, आप जैसे इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए भारत से बेहतर स्थान क्या हो सकता है। साथियों, आज भारत डेमोक्रेसी, डेमोग्राफी, डिमांड और डेटा, इसके 4 मजबूत पिलर्स पर खड़ा है। टैलेंट, टेक्नोलॉजी, इनोवेशन और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भारत की ग्रोथ के टूल्स हैं। इन सभी को ड्राइव करने वाली एक और बड़ी ताकत आज भारत में है। ये ताकत है एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया, यानी एआई, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और एआई एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया की डबल ताकत भारत के पास है। और एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया को हमारा यूथ ड्राइव कर रहा है। बीती सदी में डेवलपमेंट को मुख्यतः नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज ने गति दी थी। 21st सेंचुरी को ह्यूमन रिसोर्स और ह्यूमन इनोवेशंस गति देने वाले हैं। इसलिए भारत अपने यूथ की स्किल्स और टेक्नोलॉजी के डेमोक्रेटाइजेशन पर बहुत फोकस कर रहा है। साथियों, भारत भविष्य की दुनिया की जरूरतों के लिए आज काम कर रहा है। हमारा मिशन एआई हो, हमारा सेमीकंडक्टर मिशन हो, मिशन क्वांटम हो, मिशन ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन हो, स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी से जुड़े मिशन हो, डिजिटल इंडिया का मिशन हो, इन सभी का लक्ष्य दुनिया के लिए बेहतरीन और विश्वसनीय समाधान देना है। आप सभी साथियों के लिए इन क्षेत्रों में इन्वेस्टमेंट्स और कोलैबोरेशंस की अनेक संभावनाएं हैं। साथियों, भारत हर इनोवेशन को एक शानदार प्लेटफॉर्म और बेहतरीन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर देने के लिए कमिटेड है। हमारा डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, नए स्टार्टअप्स और इंडस्ट्री 4.0 के लिए अनंत संभावनाओं के द्वार खोल रहा है। आज भारत अपने फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को पूरी तरह से ट्रांसफॉर्म करने में जुटा है। रेल, रोड, एयरपोर्ट और पोर्ट में रिकॉर्ड इन्वेस्टमेंट किया जा रहा है। इसमें जर्मन और इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन की कंपनियों के लिए अनेक संभावनाएं हैं। मुझे खुशी है कि रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी को लेकर भारत और जर्मनी मिलकर काम कर रहे हैं। पिछले महीने ही गुजरात में जर्मनी के साथ मिलकर चौथा ग्लोबल रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी इन्वेस्टर्स मीट आयोजित किया गया है। ग्लोबल लेवल पर रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी में निवेश के लिए भारत जर्मनी प्लेटफॉर्म भी लॉन्च किया गया है। मुझे उम्मीद है कि ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन इकोसिस्टम की जो संभावनाएं भारत ने बनाई है, उसका फायदा भी आप जरूर उठाएंगे। साथियों, भारत की ग्रोथ स्टोरी से जुड़ने का यही समय है, सही समय है, जब भारत का डायनेमिज्म और जर्मनी का प्रिसिशन मिलता है, जब जर्मनी की इंजीनियरिंग और भारत का इनोवेशन मिलता है, जब जर्मनी की टेक्नोलॉजी और भारत का टैलेंट मिलता है, तब इंडो पैसिफिक के साथ साथ पूरी दुनिया का बेहतर भविष्य तय होता है। साथियों, आप बिजनेस वर्ल्ड से जुड़े हैं। आपका तो मंत्र होता है, व्हेन वी मीट वी मीन बिजनेस। लेकिन भारत आना सिर्फ बिजनेस ही नहीं होता। भारत के कल्चर, कुजीन और शॉपिंग को आपने समय नहीं दिया तो आप बहुत कुछ मिस करेंगे। मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं, यू विल बी हैप्पी एंड बैक होम योर फैमिली विल बी हैप्पियर। ये कॉन्फ्रेंस और भारत में आपका स्टे दोनों मंगल हो, इसी कामना के साथ आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, आपके शब्दों को सुन के हर कोई प्रेरित हो जाता है। आपकी ऊर्जा को देख के सभी कुछ न कुछ कर देना चाहते हैं। भले ही हर एक भारतीय नागरिक डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी से वाकिफ हो न हो, लेकिन हर एक इंसान, यहाँ का हर एक नागरिक अवश्य एआई बन सकता है, यानी कि एस्पिरेशनल इंडियन। हमारे सौभाग्य की आपने आज इतनी सारी बातें कही। इट इज अ ग्रेट ऑनर एंड प्रिविलेज। जर्मनी एंड इंडिया's friendship over the last 25 years has been going on, and now in the next 25 years it will take a very, very substantial
data, creating these models, generating and producing intelligence and tokens at scale for all kinds of different industries. This is what we're seeing happening in front of us as we speak. And so I hope to partner with all of you to enable India to be at the center of this new industrial revolution. Now, to talk to you about some more of this and how it applies to India, I have another special guest. and you will surely know him as well. An industry pioneer. An industry pioneer. Someone we can genuinely said help digitalize India. And yeah, please. And help build the fabric of the modern internet India that we know. Ladies and gentlemen, Mukesh Ambani.
My friend.
Mukesh.
How are you? So good.
Very nice to see you. Very, very nice to see you. Please sit down. Well, you know, this morning we've been talking about AI. Mm-hmm. And the last time you and I spent time together, we were talking about AI. And the time before that, we were talking about AI. And now you could see we don't really have much to talk about aside from AI. And no one has contributed more, Mukesh, to help India become a high-tech and a deep-tech India. Now, you're at the beginning of that journey. You have great aspirations. I know you have deep aspirations to help India become a deep tech industry. And what gives you that conviction, and why is artificial intelligence that moment for India?
So, Jensen, first let me welcome you to our city of Mumbai, a city with a large heart. We are in what is the Geo World Center, which is new, which is built by my wife. So if I don't say it's built by my wife, I was instructed to say that.
I'm at her house? Her house is bigger than your house. And I thought your house was pretty big. Just so you know, from Mukesh's house, I could see my house in California.
So, and you know, while I was listening to you, you talked about NVIDIA being an exotic place. And I was thinking that when you are in India, I've got to give you my version of what NVIDIA means to me. And I was just thinking about it backstage. There's a very important word linked which is called Vidya, V-I-D-Y-A, right? And in Indian, in Hindi, as we are all determined to make the best LLM in Hindi, right? In Hindi, Vidya means knowledge.
I knew I named the company right. I knew it.
So
everybody said, NVIDIA, what a horrible name. You will never make it.
So what it means...
I knew it. I stuck with it.
So you can take credit for this interpretation.
Gosh.
No problem. Right? So it still is
I'm smart.
It gets better, Jensen. So if we think about Vidya, Vidya is Saraswati. And Saraswati is our goddess of knowledge. So when you actually devote yourself sincerely to the goddess of knowledge and you acquire knowledge, then in our tradition, the goddess of prosperity, which is Lakshmi, follows. So what you are doing...
32 years ago, I knew this.
So
and now the story of NVIDIA has been revealed to all of you.
So our first principles, right, are what you are driving.
Thank you.
Is the knowledge revolution converting into the international, into what I call the intelligence revolution. And that drives prosperity across the world for all the 8 billion people. And I think that what we are at the doorsteps of is the new intelligence age. And on behalf of everybody, I am very proud to have you as my friend. And welcome to India, and thank you for actually contributing to the world to bring the intelligence age in our lifetime, and hopefully, together with everybody, this can drive to more prosperity for all the 8 billion people in the world, and particularly the 1.5 billion people in India.
Mukesh, it is such an honor and such a great privilege and incredible joy to be able to contribute in this way. And as you know, the IT industry of India is world renowned for its very large scale and not just in size but in deep expertise of computer science. Very few countries in the world has this natural resource, this amazing natural resource called IT and computer science expertise. In the last couple of years, we've been working together to upskill, and we've now upskilled about 200,000 IT professionals into the world of AI. You know, what do we have to do together, and how can we work together to help transform India at the speed of light, really? Because everything is moving so fast, to transform India into a center not of just IT, but a center of AI.
So, from my point of view, Jensen, let me tell you my own experience in India. First, right, as our Prime Minister has said, that this is a new aspirational India. What we have today is we are among the only country in the world where the average age of 1.4 billion Indians is below 35. So what is driving our economy is not only new technologies like AI, but also aspirations. And I believe that, you know the Prime Minister, and I believe that his leadership in terms of converting India to a premier digital society has been vital and continues to drive activity at the ground level. So it's demography, it's leadership. The third factor is that we as Indians have the raw talent. You talked about converting 200,000 people into this, but I believe there are millions, right? If we now see India has become home, right, among all the companies across the world, our fastest growing industry is global competency centers. So we do space research in India, we do pharmaceutical research in India. I'm sure that you're thinking of building chips in India.
That's right.
We are in our own energy industry, we do bioenergy industry. All the energy majors, Shell, BP, right, actually do their innovation in India. So India is fast becoming an innovation hub for the world in terms of where we are and not the manufacturing hub.
And so you know, we have over 10,000 engineers here in India ourselves.
So that's like our challenge. What we also have is, we also have what I call the necessary infrastructure, and we've been fortunate that we have the connectivity infrastructure, which is equivalent to the roads. So if you don't have roads, you will not reach your destination. So I believe that today, apart from the US and China, right, India has the best digital connectivity infrastructure, 4G, 5G, and broadband in the world.
Yeah.
Right. When people talk about Geo, and you know, we said Geo took India from number 158 in the world to number 1 in the world in 8 years. We, as a single company, didn't know anything about this domain, right? But today, we are the largest data company in the world, right?
Yeah.
Our volumes are equivalent to AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon combined.
Yeah.
So,
I would say size of local market is quite an advantage.
but let me tell you, like, the most satisfying piece, and
well, having 1.5 billion
the
customers
best part,
would do it.
The best part's still coming.
That's
Jensen.
pretty satisfying.
So the most satisfying piece is that as Geo, we delivered about 16 exabytes of data this year, or we will deliver this year, and the average, in the US you pay $5 a GB, in the world average for data is about $3.50 a GB. In India, Geo delivers data at 15 cents a GB. And what that means is...
Do you encourage your customers to use their phones?
We do. And what really that means, Jensen, is a perpetual value.
Yeah.
Right? That technology has delivered customer value of between $500 and $700 billion a year on year, every year,
and this
to Indians. And this is the gift of technology to the people of India. And this is what you described as intelligence, we can do to actually bring prosperity to all the people and bring equality to the world. And that is the opportunity, why I described this. And this is the reason that India will be one of the biggest intelligence markets. And it's not only our aspirations, but I think it is just the raw gene pool and the raw gene power that exists in India, the youth power that exists in India, that is actually going to drive intelligence, and hopefully once we drive intelligence for our domestic market, right? We will use intelligent services beyond software to integrate with the rest of the world.
That's right.
And Indians now will not only export CEOs to the world's largest companies, but hundreds of millions of Indians.
It's true. It's true. All of my colleagues, all of my friends back home, they're all Indians. All of my CEOs.
And hundreds of millions will deliver to the world AI services to help a better world. And that is why your being here,
thank you,
right, is important. Your commitment to this country is important, and working together, right? This cannot be done by any one company, any one individual, but we all have to work together to bring this intelligence age safely to the world, so that we can create a more equal world, a prosperous world, and allow the global south to catch up with the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's really terrific. And you know, one of the things that you've highlighted is just the immense amount of digital data that's available, surely at Geo and in India. And this leads to one of the things that I want to announce with you. As you know, in order to lead in artificial intelligence, you need to have AI. India has. You need to have data, massive quantities of data, and using the last thing you need is AI infrastructure. And we're announcing that Reliance and NVIDIA are partnering to build AI infrastructure here in India.
Absolutely.
And then the thing that I will say is that in order ultimately to create that into a flywheel is one of the great advantages that India has, which is a very large population of users. And so now you have the fundamental ingredients, AI, data, and AI infrastructure, and you have a large population of users that ultimately creates your AI flywheel. The thing that I really love, and when I met Modi ji, the first time he asked me to meet his cabinet was to, this has got to be about 6 years ago, he asked me to address his cabinet about artificial intelligence. And I was so surprised. It was literally the first time any government leader, any national leaders asked me to address his cabinet on this particular topic. It was long before anybody was talking about artificial intelligence. And my last visit with him, he said this, and it was really quite profound. He said, I was explaining to him the concept of AI infrastructure and why it's essential for every nation to have their own AI infrastructure, like their own communication, their internet infrastructure, their roads, like energy, of course, and of course, intelligence should be part of your infrastructure, and the manufacturing of intelligence should be part of your infrastructure. And he said this, he said, it makes complete sense that India should manufacture its own AI, manufacture your own AI. You should not outsource, you should not export data to import intelligence. That India should not export data to import intelligence. And he said,